Johnny Legs says he's humiliated by Jim Crow Hollywood. John Leguizamo has been making the rounds lately, promoting his. He was in a movie called Bob Trevino Likes It, or Bob Trevino. I don't know if it's with the Enya or not. Doesn't matter. He's been getting a lot of recognition for it, some awards for his acting in it, and for the Leguizamo Does America docuseries. He went on the, was it Dave Spade, Dana Carvey podcast? Everyone's got a podcast now. And he had some stuff to say. I want to get to it, and we're going to react. There's Dave, there's old Spadester. Back it up. Here we go.
I mean, it's a necessity of our modern world, but not something I go to.
Hey, I have a quick question. When you were younger, weren't you in Regarding Henry?
Oh, you got to bring that up, didn't you?
Is that bad?
Bring it down.
Well, you know, I was kind of humiliated by it. I mean, I did it only because I got no jobs. I mean, there were no jobs for Latin folk. They just weren't. I mean, I don't know if you remember the Ross report.
Okay. All right. I said there was going to be homework. There was going to be a test. Raul Julia, late 80s, early 90s. Plenty of roles, plenty of great coveted roles, right? Then Edward James Olmos and Gregory Serra that we happen to talk about. Amazing roles that they did in the 70s and 80s. So amazing. Eddie almost won an Emmy Award for Miami Vice. John Leguizamo, I think, has forgotten his own filmography. He had a role in Miami Vice. He had plenty of roles before he took on Regarding Henry. He was in Revenge with Kevin Costner. His role was only in Spanish, but he did a good job. So he's saying there was no roles for Latin folk in 1991, and he is dead wrong. What is this revisionist history that we're doing here, Johnny? Robert Davi tried to do that. Robert Davi was dead wrong with Blood In, Blood Out. You were dead wrong that there wasn't any roles for Latinos actors in 1991. Raul Julia was already cast as Gomez Adams in the Addams Family. Leading role. Puerto Rican. You're Colombian. You're both from New York. He's from Puerto Rico. If I'm not mistaken, the role of Romero, he had gotten a nomination. I'm talking about Raul Julia. And that was what, 1989, 1990, where he played the priest Romero, 1989 film. And he had tons of Latinos in that film. So you're saying there was no roles for Latins? Dude, come on. If anything, we were already at that point. Now, I want to pause now because I'm not a Leguizamo hater of his work, and he was a pioneer. He was, but you are mistaken, sir, when you're saying and you're rewriting this history that as if we were in this arrested state of just like we're only subjugated to these shitty roles. There were shitty roles. And there were. No doubt about it. But I've given you not one, several examples of Latino actors and working late 80s to early 90s. Because this is 1991 you're talking about. Where coveted actors and actresses bucked bucked the system, bucked the trend. And what do I mean by that? They played out of their stereotypes. Drug lords, drug dealers, gangbangers. You guys did that. That was amazing. I don't know why you're saying that. Are you saying that because you're on this podcast and you're trying to like, we were victims back then? We weren't. I hate that. I think it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Jimmy Smits. Jimmy Smits was being nominated for Emmys. LA Law. All right, but let's get back to you, Johnny. Let's get back to what you're saying. Your hat's crooked, by the way. Ay, por Dios. Por Dios.
I was kind of humiliated by it. I mean, I did it only because I got no jobs. I mean, there were no jobs for Latin folk. They just weren't. I mean, I don't know if.
Okay, all right. He was humiliated that he had to take the role of a criminal thief in the film regarding Henry that shoots Harrison Ford in the head. I don't know whatever it was. That was his one role. His thinking was that I want to work with Mike Nichols before Mike Nichols leaves the earth. So this is my chance. That's on you, man. That's on you. You decided to take the role because you're like, hey, at least I could work a scene with Mike Nichols. Criminals do exist. Villains do exist. And in films, back then, yes, majority of them were dark. I give you that. But you took the role. You said you were humiliated. You also had a lot of great roles at that time. And then from 92 to like 97, you had amazing roles. Amazing career. But let's go back.
I mean, I don't know if you remember the Ross Report, because that's how desperate I was. I would get the Ross Report, which managers and agents got.
Okay.
But so, because there was no opportunities. Mm-hmm. So you would get every Monday and they would list everything that was available in movie and television, every role. But it was like Jim Crow. I'm not going to lie. It was like white doctor, white lawyer, white husband, white lover, Latino drug dealer. And then I would ask my agent, please, can they see me? I want to do.
All right. See, and this is the thing when you go on a show like a Spade or you could say this shit. And oh, yes, yeah, oh, God. Holly, Jim Crow, yes. Feel your pain. Jim Crow refers to the system of state and local mandated racial segregation and discrimination that enforced white supremacy in the American South, and to a lesser extent other parts of the U.S. from the late 19th century until the mid-20th century. Named after a racist minstrel show character, Jim Crow laws codified these practices. John, there's no Jim Crow that you were a victim of. You fought, you pioneered, and you got roles. You got hired. You actually played out of your ethnicity. Mario Super Brothers, Spawn, Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet. You are incredible. I love your work. Tu Wong Fu, on and on. And others started coming up. Jim Crow? Now, again, I'm not saying that you're wrong in regards to there was a lot of shitty stereotypical roles and that Holly wasn't fucked up, but you, Almost, Smits, Elizabeth Pena, Julie Carmen, Rachel Tickerton, bucked that. Who's the other female? She was great. She was wonderful. Maria Conchita Alonso. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a prevailing ignorance in Hollywood. No, it does, and it still, to a certain degree, exists. But to say Jim Crow Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You've acted with Al Pacino. You've acted with the greats. You are a great. You are a great. I'm giving that to you, brother, because you earned it.
My monologue from David Mamet's sexual affairs in Chicago. Please, they'll fall in love with me. They won't even see you. So, you know, you had to be mad resourceful. You just had to be to try to get in that room with folks.
Well, what did Freddie Prinze mean to you, if anything, or Paul Rodriguez? Because when I came up, I always thought it was kind of.
So here he's talking about arguing with this representations. Just get me in the room with these people for that role. I know I'll dazzle them. I'll do a David Mamet monologue and we'll tear it up. Okay, one, every actor has that argument with their representation. Two, you got in the rooms. You got the roles. I don't get this. And you've continued to work. And you've put other people, other Latinos to work with your Leguizamo Does America. Fantastic. So now they ask, so Dana Carvey, he's innocent enough. He doesn't know like all this stuff. He's just like, wait, what about Freddie Prinze and Paul Rodriguez? Did they mean anything to you? Let's see what he says here. I haven't seen this part of it.
Kind of weird. Oh, there's a Latino comic, and there's one of them or two, you know. But he was a force of nature. Were you in your formative years when Freddie was around?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's way older than I am. But as a kid, to watch him on television and Chico and the Man was like, my God, the only Latino on television at the time. I mean, we had Desi Arnaz, but he was in the 50s.
They say every 2 decades we'll throw one out there. Yeah, that's the thing is that when I saw Chico and the Man, I guess, as a kid, it was just another funny show. Right. So I would have thought, looking back, hey, maybe they should give more of the Latinos a chance because this one's working really well. This show is very funny. It fit right in. No one said a word. It was just like, oh, another funny show without even separating it. It was like, hey, whoever's funny, throw them out.
Because talent is talent, and people care whether you're Black, Latino. They just want to see great shows, but they just weren't casting us. So when I got Regarding Henry, it was a drug dealer. I shoot this white guy, and it was like, oh my God, I'm perpetrating what they want to see, which is negative Latino images. And I didn't want to participate in that, but I really wanted to meet Mike Nichols because he's one of the greats. I mean, he's sure. Virginia Woolf, The Graduate, Carnal Knowledge, some of my favorite films.
Yeah,
I did it because of that. But then, you know, there I am with my sloppy fro, and I'm in the drugstore. I'm in the bodega, and there's Harrison Ford, and I'm robbing the place. Even talking just gives me PTSD.
Right. And I'm sorry about that. I just sort of was like Harrison Ford, Mike Nichols. I was looking at that angle, like to be on a set with them when you're younger must have been in some ways other than what you're describing. Obviously, it's kind of a sore subject, but just interesting to see them on a real set and how it works.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, just to be anywhere near Mike Nichols. And Harrison Ford is always, when he sees me, he's so lovely, you know, and I'm like, oh, wow, he's such a great dude to be around these folks. You know, but
I love Harry Ford. I do. I enjoy Harry Ford and Mikey Nichols. Both.
You're the guy from the bodega.
Did anyone ever say to you, John, can you Latin it up a little more?
All right. So I don't buy it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't buy it. John, I respect you. I respect your work. I would love for you to come on and have a conversation because I don't agree with you. And I think because of what your experience has been in Hollywood, definitely is not other people's experiences. Some have been worse because there's a lot of Latinos that were only ever given those really bad stereotyped roles and were never able to elevate like you and so many others have. And then there's a lot of people that have, from the Jimmy Smiths to Isai Morales, Jennifer Lopez, Eddie, Jimmy. I mean, the list goes on. Elpidia Carrillo. Elpidia, we didn't even talk about Elpidia Carrillo, who was in the first Predator with Schwarzenegger, the female Latina that survived Predator. I mean, come on, man. And then you're saying you had PTSD just thinking about it. Bro, you made a professional choice to take the role. You didn't have, no one was forcing you, turning your arm, twisting your arm. Pobre John, cállate. You made the choice. Yet, and let me tell you, you didn't need to do that role. You had been doing so many other great films, and then you went on to do more great films. That was your choice, bro. That was your choice. But now it's just like, and I mentioned Rachel Ticotin. But now there's like Spade is asking you, and let's talk about this. This is another thing that I don't appreciate. That this is now the conversation when a non-Latino podcast or like a Bill Maher, they bring on a Latino thing. Hey, let's talk about your victimization first. We're not talking about the great work that you've done. Let's talk about let's talk about your role in Carlitos Way, Benny Blanco from the Bronx. How did you come up with that character? Come on. It's like, do you guys not even see how you're being used as this pawn? And it's just gone on for so long, and you keep perpetrating this freaking victimization. And you keep thinking that's how you'll get the attention and stay relevant. No. And again, I am a huge fan of your work, sir. I just don't agree with you right now. All right, let's see if you had to lighten it up.
Did they ever like push?
Yeah.
Yeah?
They didn't have to say that to me as much, because I was the flavor that they were looking for, sort of like a ghetto hood rat.
Yeah.
You know, I had been working against that because, you know, my acting teachers when I was 17, they were all like, no one can understand you with that accent. Do you really speak that way? And
Good God.
talk like, you know, I was like, Dad, yo, man, what you want? What you need from me? I'll be right there for you, bro. What's up? You know, I talk like that, and you don't really hear that anymore.
There you go. That's what we're looking for.
That's our man right there.
Yeah.
Shit. Can't really, they totally understand, man. This is the person that I've become.
All right. Well, again, I will say that does exist. Cast directors, they want you to Latin it up. Absolutely. And it is a funny thing because what John touched on was that, because it's like, you know, I grew up in a New Yorker, you know, ghetto, whatever you need, man, I got you. What do you need? I got you. So if you're not a trained actor that can kind of get rid of your own accent to where you come from, like Southern actors who had to get rid of their accent, like Julia Roberts, then you're kind of typecast for a while, no matter what. And that's what he was talking about. That's true. But if you are, let's say, a nondescript kind of Latino ethnic you know, you're like a ethnically they don't know what to make of you, and then, for lack of better words, you sound more broadcast mainstream American. They're like, can you line it up? Can you do the accent? Because that's what this character requires. That exists, for better, for worse. Just, you know, it's just an actor's struggle, as with any stereotype. You got to roll with the punches. And that's what a lot of actors do, whether you're black, white, Latino, Asian, because up until very recently, Hollywood has always been a lens of a WASP American default setting as created by Jewish people, Jewish filmmakers, Jewish producers. They came and created Hollywood, and this is how they viewed the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. And that's how it was forever. Better for worse. That's how it was. And that is the system that, and remnants of that still exists. And a lot of that has changed. Right? But, you know, Leguizamo, Eriamos, all these guys, there's a lot, these guys were pioneers because they fought against stereotype. And I do respect them for that. I just think he's made for him to say that there was no Latin roles and that he was victimized and humiliated. You really weren't. You had a choice to take that role, and you didn't have to take it. And then very quickly, Brian De Palma hires you, Benny Blanco from the Bronx. You got to work Bob Hoskins in Super Mario Brothers. You did Spawn. You did Tu Wong Fu, countless others. You've had a wonderful career, man. That we should be talking about your wonderful career more than anything. But to kind of say you were humiliated by this, it's like a lot of other Latino actors had it much, much worse. But now